Today is Daf Tezayin, and we are we're in the middle of a sugya. We read it yesterday without understanding much, so we'll just go over it real quickly. But we'll go over it balpeh. What? Really? All right. Thank you. It's the perfect day to come. So we have like this. We have a long brisa that basically brings 2-3 shitas in there. I don't know if you could see. These are the categories. Noisar. How many pieces of noisar? In all the cases, it's 5 pieces. But on the bottom, we're going to be discussing me'ilah. How many animals? That's a little bit of difference. How many halamas? Difference. And then based on that, we know how many karbanos you have to bring. Or we don't. So the brisa starts off saying if a person he ate 5 pieces of noisar in one helem, one awareness from one animal, he brings 1 chatos. Now anytime you bring 1 chatos, if you don't know if you ate it or not, you had a suffix, what do you bring? 1 asham. So the asham tali is always going to be equal to the amount of chatois you bring. Fine. Same Tana says another halacha. 5 pieces of noisar for 1 animal, 5 halamas, 5 different awarenesses. How much are you chayiv? 5. That's pashat. So he brings 5 chatois or 5 asham talis. Then the brisa continues. Doesn't really say it's another man Omar. The brisa says if it's 5 pieces of noisar from 5 different animals. Now we're changing 5 different animals in 1 helem. You bring 5 chatois. So this would seem to be a contradiction to what the brisa just said, because the brisa said before that if you have 5 halamas, only if you have 5 awarenesses are you chayiv. Nothing to do with the animals. All of a sudden it says if you have 5 different animals, then you're also chayiv. Sort of a contradiction, because halamas is the strongest thing, the awarenesses. And only if you have 5 separate halamas, then you're chayiv 5 animals. Mashma, if you have 5 different animals, you're not chayiv. And then we understand it to be a stira in the brisa. Brisa comes along and he says, I hold like the first part of the brisa that if you have 5 pieces of noisar from 5 animals, you only chayiv 1 korban, 1 asham tali. Then the brisa says, and that's where we're holding, the same case, but in me'ilah. What's me'ilah? A person who ate from the animal before zrikas hadam. Before zrikas hadam, that's the only time you can do me'ilah, because once the kohen got his hand on it, so to speak, it's no longer me'ilah. So what does it say? A person had 5 pieces of me'ilah. So over here, noiser doesn't really apply to this chart. 5 pieces of me'ilah from 1 behema in 1 helem. How much is he chayiv? 5 chatois. Right? Me'ilah. You're chayiv on 5 me'ilas. And that's what we try to bring a raya from me'ilah to this. Rabbi Kiva said it's not the same thing. Now, why did the Gemara bring this brisa to begin with? Because the Gemara wanted to see, we had an argument between Rabbi Kiva and Rabbi Yeshua in the Mishnah. Rabbi Kiva says that if you eat 5 pieces of noisar, you only chayiv 1 animal, 1 korban, in 1 helem. Comes Rabbi Yeshua and says, wait a minute, I see in me'ilah that you chayiv 5. So you should also be chayiv 5 by noisar. What does Rabbi Kiva tell him? Don't prove anything from me'ilah. Why? Because me'ilah is very chomer. Me'ilah is different. I can be mitzaref 2 half a prutas. The guy that gives the me'ilah, he's chayiv. It's different. Me'ilah is different. What does Rabbi Yeshua tell him back? Nothing. So what does that mean to us? If Rabbi Yeshua doesn't mention anything, he doesn't say anything.
Agrees.
It seems maybe he agrees, maybe not. So that's what the Gemara started from 10 lines from the bottom. Yesterday we learned it kind of at the end of the shir. Kidlo Rabbi Yeshua lahad tshuva Rabbi Akiva Eloi. Alavai. Standing room only, he's saying. Okay, listen. Let's see. Standing room only.
Take 1.
Okay. All right. No, you gotta pass. In these mesachtas, you gotta pass. As long as you come. Okay. So what do we have? So now we have a shayla. Did Rabbi Yeshua accept Rabbi Kiva's argument that Me'ila is different than Noisar or not? So now let's start smack in the middle of a sugya. Well, we could also go like 3 lines from the bottom. Klali shel davar. We have a klal, kol shechalukim b'chatois, chalukim b'ashamois. Whatever you bring in a chatos, if you didn't know for sure what happened, maybe you ate kosher meat, maybe not, so you bring the same amount of asham tali. Avol ochal chomesh chatichos b'chamisho tamchuyim mizevach echod. So now we're going back. If a person ate 5 tamchuyin, 5 different types of food, and in a second we're going to see what that means. 5 were machloikis, what it could possibly mean. Different types of food. Lifnei zrikas damim. Why before zrikas damim? Because that's the only time that you're moil. Afilu behelam achas chayv al kol achas va'achas mishum mi'ila. How many asham talis does he bring? 0. Yeah. He brings 5 chatois, but let's say he wasn't sure if he was moil or not. How many does he bring? Doesn't say. Big X over here. So because there's an X over here, we could prove something. It doesn't talk about, all of a sudden, in the Brisa it tells you exactly how many Osham Talis, each and everything, goes four different halachas, it tells you exactly how many. When it comes to Me'ila, it doesn't mention anything on Osham Tali. Manio. Now we're holding Tazayin or Medalv on the top. Eli Rebbe Kiva, listen to Nami Seifa about Sveikum maybe Osham Toli. So it should say specifically by Osham Toli.
It's not here. We can't see anything down there.
It is there.
It's not.
Again, then you're going to tell me that you found it. It's there. Eli Rebbe Kiva, listening to Nami Seifa al Sveikum maybe. Yeah, give it to me for a second. I need it now. Right over here. It should say, according to Rebbe Kiva, 5. Why? Because it says, Dosnan, Rebbe Kiva, Machayev, al Sofik Me'ila Asham Tali. By Me'ila, there is Asham Tali. So if there's an Asham Tali, it should be 5 Asham Talis. Ela, Rebbe Shuri. Uktani, Bechomesh Ha'alamois, maybe Chomesh Chatois. And right over here, in this case, it says, in the blue, if he had 5 halamis, he brings 5 chatois. Shmamino. But if it's 1 helem, in blue, what does it say? If I forgot, if I remembered, I had an awareness, and then I was chayt again, and I had another awareness, I was chayt again, only then do I bring 5. What if I had 1 awareness? 1. And if it goes according to Rabbi Yeshua, that means Rabbi Yeshua changed his mind. That in 1 awareness, you only chayiv 1. In the Mishnah, he was arguing with Rabbi Akiva. Rabbi Akiva says 1 awareness, 5 pieces of noisar, you chayiv 1. And Rabbi Yeshua argued with him. And over here, blue tells me that Rabbi Yeshua agrees with him. Says the Gemara, but green tells me that he argues. So which one is it? Because the Brisa has 2 different opinions. So yes, you're chopping the top opinion and saying, oh, it's mashma like Rabbi Yeshua. But at the same time, you could take the second opinion and say that it's not mashma like Rabbi Yeshua didn't have charata. That what? Elolav. So again, from the fact that it doesn't mention anything about Asham Talui, it seems like the Bryce is not even talking about Rabbi Kiva, because Rabbi Kiva talks about Asham Talui by a Me'ila. And it doesn't mention anything by Me'ila about Asham Talui, so it has to be Rabbi Yeshua. And if it's Rabbi Yeshua, what does the first part of the Bryce say? Uktarim b'chomish ha'alamois, maybe chomish chatois. But dafka, if there's a halama 5 times, if there's 1 halama, you don't bring 5 chatois. That's against what Rabbi Yeshua said in the Mishnah. Obviously, he took it back. Rabbi Akiva proved it to him. Ushma mino kiblo minei. Take out this word elo. Adarabah. Meseifa diktoni mechamisha zvachim. Afilu behelamachas chayv al kolachas v'achas. It says in the Seifa that if you have 5 animals, even with 1 helam, you chayiv on each and every one. Shma mino le kiblo minei. So you have to say that it's really machlokes tanoim in the Bryce. So dikatana the kibla, dikatana the kibla. Okay, we'll say the whole Bryce is Rabbi Yeshua. Why do you have to say the whole Bryce is Rabbi Yeshua? Because the last part goes like Rabbi Yeshua, because there's no Asham Tali here. and the fact that the Brises has a steer in it, it's one time it holds that he took it back, one time it holds he didn't take it back.
It's one Bryson. Two time arguing in that Bryson.
In that Brisa, yeah, opposing different things. I feel says the Gemara. No. I feel Rebbe Kiva. No, maybe the whole Brisa goes according to Rebbe Kiva, nothing to do with Rebbe Shua. Your whole raya that this Brisa doesn't go according to Rebbe Kiva is because this one little box over here doesn't fit into Rebbe Kiva, because Rebbe Kiva says there is Hashem Talui by Mila. You know what? When it comes to Hashem Talui by Mila, he doesn't hold like Rebbe Kiva, but everything else is Rebbe Kiva, has nothing to do with Rebbe Shua. You have no proof from this Brisa that it goes like Rebbe Shua.
And the safe is not Rebbe Kiva.
This little part is what?
Yeah.
The green.
Yeah, and that won't
Okay.
be either.
Right, because it can't be according to one person.
Right.
Well, yeah, it could. You always, no, Rebbe Kiva holds always you bring one unless there are 5 halamas. And 5 halamas, he says yes.
Right. And the safe is Kamisha is Gufim Mechulak.
Yeah,
Gufim Mechulak.
right. So you're right. The last part of Me'ilah that he don't bring a Hashem Tali, that will be a problem with Rebbe Kiva. Heichi domi chomesh tamchuyin. Yeah, you have to take out the word Me'ilah and put in tamchuyin here. Foods. Now we're going to explain what it means. Different types of food. How do you get to different types of foods? 4 to 5 shitas here. Omer Shmuel. Ka'oisa sheshoninu. Chamisha dvarim ba'oila mitztarfin. Dafke ba'oila. If you take it outside of the Beis Hamikdash, it's mitztarf. What is mitztarf? Habasar v'hachelev, hayayin v'hasoyas v'hashem. These are the 5 things. 5 different types of foods: wine and meat, shemen and soilas. Chizki Omar kigon she'ocha mechamisha ivarim. 5 different limbs. One was a steak, the other was liver. Completely different taste. So memela you chayiv 5 times. Resh Lakish Omar afilu teimen be'ever echad. Yeah. Shlokish says even one limb, I have a situation where it has 5 different flavors. Mishkachas lo bekotev. If you take the foreleg, I forgot to print it out. Reuven did a whole thing. Yeah, kotev is the shoulder, but it starts by the shoulder. It's the foreleg. It goes all the way down. I have the shank bone. I have the this. I have the ankle. Different types of meat, different flavors. Rabbi Yitzchok Nabcha Amar kigon she'ochal b'chamisha minig deira. He cooked it, one with onions, the other one with leek. Bekitzer, it had different flavors. And memela, even though it was the same piece of meat, it was mispar chamesh, but he added onions to it. He added different things to it. No, that's the next one. That's the next one. He did it. He cooked it different ways. One was broiled, one was cooked, one was roasted. Whatever you want. Anyway, but the kids, you get the 5 template. And now Rabbi Isai, the Olam could go home. I wish they could go home. Omer Rabbi Kiva, Sha'alti is Rabbi Eliezer. So now Rabbi Kiva, until now the Mishnayos were talking about Sha'alti as Rabbi Shua, as Rabbi Gamliel.
Menachem bailed out on you last minute.
Menachem, did you prepare this daf?
Last minute.
Okay, so Rabbi Kiva asked this question to Rabbi Eliezer. Ma'am, it's a simple sugya. I put it down in 3 lines. That's the whole sugya. Maybe a few more lines over here. No, not a big deal. Sha'alti Rabbi Eliezer. Ba'oisa melachos harbe. Rabbi Eliezer was his Rebbe. He asked him, what happens if a person does melachos harbe b'shabbosos harbe me'ei melacha achas behelam achas mal? Not such a complicated word. One awareness, a few shabbosim, a few different melachas that are toldos. Not talking about it. So really, it seems like the Gemara is talking about 2 separate questions here. We're talking about, is a tolda like a av? If I perform a few different toldos of one melacha, of one av, am I over 3 different times? Or is it one? Also, Shabbosis, different Shabbosis. Is there does the fact that it's a week went by, does it change the status of how many korbanos I have to bring? Gemara is going to go into it obviously. So again, Sha'alti Rabbi Eliezer ba'oisa melachos harbe. He did it.
Went by with shouldn't be an issue because you just said before, Gufim Mechudakim is
Yeah, but let's see. Good. There's more than that, because the days that go by bring back an awareness. So let's see what it is. What's the awareness? We have to understand what happened there. What did he forget? We have to know. Did he forget the Malacha? Did he forget Shabbos? That's what the Gemara is going to go into a little. Ba'isa Malacha is harbe, b'Shabbos is harbe. He performed a few malachas, a bunch of malachas, on a bunch of Shabbosim. Me'ei malacha achas, behelam achas. They were all toldos in one awareness. He didn't have a new awareness in between. Chayev achas al kula, no chayev achas, or chayev al kol achas v'achas. Omar li, you have to say Omar li here. Reminds me of Tmur a little bit, all the Hagoyis here. Omar li chayev al kol achas v'achas mikal v'choymer. I have a kal v'choymer. Umanido she'im bo titzois harbe v'chatois harbe. There's only one way to be over by nido, and the result is always the same. It's one chiyuv. There's no tolda. There's no av. It's one ma'isa. Yet I hold. Rabbi Eliezer holds chayev al kolachas v'achas. Chayev ani every single ma'isa. Shabbos sheyesh bo titzois harbe umisois harbe or chatois harbe. You have to stick in here. Shabbos has a lot of Avos Malachas, 39. I don't know how many told us there are. Many told us Malachas. So there's different outcomes, different times. If a person performs two different Avos on one Shabbos, he's chayiv twice. So certainly, even if he performed one Melacha, he should be chayiv, just like a Nida is chayiv. It's one Melacha by a Nida, you chayiv on each and every one. So maybe Shabbos you chayiv on each and every one because it's much more chomer, it's much more, I don't know, it's more complicated, it's more expensive, it's more whatever it is. It has so many more melachas, so it's certainly, and in each melacha you chayiv, so certainly if you do one melacha you should chayiv on each and every one. Marti loi, Ima marti benido, what's the comparison? Ima marti benido sheyesh bo shtei hazaros. Shumuzar al nida v'anida muzar solo. The Torah talks to the woman, says be careful. Torah talks to the man. So you see that the Torah is very machmer anida. And maybe that's why you chayiv on each and every one. Torah b'Shabbat, she'im bo lazor achas. Okay, it's a good pircha. Nida is very strong. Torah said, you don't do it, I'm very machmer. Omar li, wait a minute. Abba l'ktana yichiach. If the ktana is a nida, she has the same halacha as a gdoila in terms of nidos. He's chayiv kares. A person that's boila ktana nida is chayiv kares for the nida. But the Torah wasn't mazir here, her. So you see that it's stringent without being mazir the woman. This depends on the man. Shein bo elazor achas, v'chayv kol achas v'achas. And still, you chayv each and every one. Amarti lo, im amarti b'ktana sh'afal pi shein bo em achshav yish b'mlachas man. Wait a minute, no, Rabbi Kiva Tainas. You see that the musug of nida is very stringent to the Torah because when she becomes a gdolah, the Torah warned twice. You're right now in this situation, not. But in the general concept of nida, it's more chamor than Shabbos because the Torah spoke to both the man and the woman. If somebody is reveya an animal, he's chayiv on each and every one without the Torah warning the animal. The Torah only warned the man. So the fact you chayiv on each and every maisa has nothing to do with the Torah warning twice. You could be chayiv on each and every one without the Torah warning both. So maybe by Shabbos also you chayiv on each and every one. Amarti loi, habehema keshabbos. What is he saying here? Not so partial what he's saying. So it's going to be dependent on what the Amirayim saying in the Gemara. Either habehema keshabbos means I don't agree with you. The same problem I had with Shabbos, I have with the behema. Or he says you're right. The behema is like Shabbos. Shabbos like the behema. Maybe the words are a little off, but the behema is like Shabbos. So I agree with you. Whatever you said, I agree with you. What?
Even though there's only one party involved, you still have to chayiv on each one.
Right.
That's the question.
Yeah, Shabbos.
Okay. Now let's go into the Gemara. Ma'ike boimine. What was the question exactly? Isha bosses kegufin damien. Eloi boimine. Maybe the question was, is each Shabbos considered its own entity? And Rashi kind of explains here that when I do a melacha, it turns into like another melacha almost. Not like we discussed until now, like guf mechulak, it's a different separate individual, it's a different entity. It's as if you performed two melachas, two different ones. You did zriya twice. It's as if you did zriya and bayr. So if that's the case, if that's all he was wondering about, if you do it on Shabbos A and then you do it on Shabbos B, the fact that the two Shabbosim, the Yichayv two, so he should have asked that. So why is he talking about many different melachas and toldos? Forget about toldos. Av melacha on one Shabbos, then he did Av melacha the following Shabbos. And it was in one awareness. He had no idea that it's Shabbos or whatever it is. It's Chayiv one or two. Elo, Vladim Melachos. No, his question was the other part of the question. Vladim Melachos, Ikavis Damin, Viloi Baiminei. The question was on a Vlad. Is he Chayiv two? I'm sorry, on the Tolda, Vlad Tolda, is he Chayiv on the Tolda twice? As if he did two separate Av Melachas. So let's say a guy, I don't know a good example, pruning, and the Av Melach is Zriya, and he planted a tree and he pruned a tree. He grafted a tree and he pruned a tree. Okay, two toldos. You chayiv misa for it, but it's a tolda because it doesn't say it specifically in the Torah. We learn it out, but it's the same chiyuv. But they're different actions. One is pruning, one is grafting. And if he does those two melachas, is he chayiv like is he chayiv two chatois as if he did two av melachas? No, there's no azar on both of them because the Torah doesn't talk about it. It's a tolda. Is it the same melacha? Where did we learn it from? We learn it from Zriya. So it's the same melacha. So he should be chayiv one. But maybe no. That's Guva's kasha. That's his kasha.
Each time somebody makes an azhara, he's liable for each one.
So you're saying what? You're saying that he's chayiv two? According to the Gemara, at the end of the day, nobody argues with this. Or according to I'm sorry, there is argument. Kiva is going to hold that in the Tolda is the only chayiv one. So then he should have asked that question specifically. If he does a lot of Toldas in one from one av melacha, me'ei melacha from av melacha achas b'Shabbos achas. Why is he going to different Shabbos? If his concern is a Tolda like a av, so why do you have to say that it's talking about different Shabbos? Omerava, that you chayiv in each one on one Shabbos. Omerava or Rabba, Amri Beirav, Taiti B'Yaminei. You're right. He asked two questions. Shabbos is kigufin damyan, v'iloi B'Yaminei. The question number one is Shabbos, is each Shabbos its own independent guf? So Mela, it's as if you did another Aveira. And Vlad Melacha is Kimlachas damyan Eloi. Is the Vlad like the Melach? Now, according to everybody,
The second question is taller than the first question.
no, not necessarily, because we'll see. So, what did Rebbe Lezer tell him? Rebbe Lezer says, yeah, we have to be machmer in everything. Both your questions with L'chumra, so every Tolda is independent, and that for sure, Rebbe Kiva didn't accept from him. That part, there's no question. Rebbe Kiva holds many Toldas, only chayiv one chatos. So that's no shayla anymore. So now, there's a concept called Shigiga Shabbos and Shigas Melacha. It's Haggadah Shabbos, which we're going to be learning very soon. Shigas Shabbos means a person forgot that it's Shabbos. Shigas Melacha means he forgot that there's a Melacha. Right? Very simple. Shigas Shabbos, he lost track of time. He doesn't know. He's on an island. He doesn't know if today is Shabbos or Sunday. He doesn't know. He thought today is Friday. So that's why he knows very well that you're not allowed to plow a field, but he just thought it's Friday, so he plowed the field. That's one. So on that, you're chayiv for not knowing that it's Shabbos. You chayiv one chatos for not knowing the Shabbos, even if you perform different melachas on that Shabbos. You plowed the field, you did bayer, you did whatever you did, You ksiva, you chayev one, because what was the problem? The problem was that you forgot that it's Shabbos. So you only bring one carbon on forgetting that it's Shabbos. But if you forgot that a malacha is asur, shigas malacha, you forgot that the malacha is asur, you knew it's Shabbos, you know today is Shabbos, but you thought you're allowed to plow. You thought that you're allowed to take a ladle with holes in it and then take out whatever from the soup. Right? The psoizim toichaychol, over the Kereisos, boirer, whatever it is, you thought. People think. They do also, they mush the avocado, right? They don't know. They think it's mutter, but it's also. So, whatever that case is, I just threw it in. You're going to say that according to the Rash, but it's mutter, fine. Vishabasois. So what's going on here? So what did he forget? What's the shogig here? Vishabasois heichim miboile shigia Shabbos uzadim milachos is the question that he forgot that it's Shabbos, but he knew what zadim milachos. Not zadim. He knows that this malacha is asur. He just forgot that today is Shabbos. He's in the concentration camp. He doesn't have a calendar. He doesn't know. He doesn't know what day it is. Pshitlei. So he'll understand that the days between Shabbos are enough to be considered a yediyah. So over here Rashi seems to say that just the actual days, being days in between, create a yediyah. In Shabbos, Rashi seems to say, and Daf Samach Zayin over there, he says that a person will remember. We assume that he remembers, and Taisus argues with him. I think over there, fine. Over here, it's not so pashut that it seems like even if you look at the last words on the page here, I think the Rashi over here seems to be saying that it has like almost like Taisus. Fine. Whatever the pshat is, there's days in between that create a yediyah. Uzdain Shabbos v'shigas milachos hu debar minei. So his whole question was only on a person that didn't realize that the malacha that he's performing is asur. Why? And also, right, that's obvious, days in between a Shabbos can never give you a yediyah for a malacha. They could give you a yediyah for Shabbos, for whatever that svara is, that over the week you're going to realize that that day is Shabbos. But over the week you're not going to realize that boirer is asur. You're an Amaris. You don't know what boirer is. You didn't know the halachas. We don't assume it. You can't assume that between Sunday and Friday you're going to learn those halachas. This is a raya
to Daf Yomi. If you don't do Daf Yomi, you're never going to learn.
This is a raya to Chazara.
Otherwise, you're still going to
You have to do Chazara. Daf Yomi, I don't know if it's enough.
There's a second type of shogeg.
What?
The second type of shogeg is he didn't know it was Shabbos. You won't find that out during the whole.
What? On the day?
Shogeg is you didn't know the halacha, or that you didn't know it was Shabbos.
Right.
That's the other type of shogeg. So
Right.
you didn't find out the whole week.
That's what we're saying. On Shabbos, on the day of Shabbos, the Shogeg Shabbos, that's what we hold that he probably did find out. That's what Rashi says in Shabbos. Probably did find out. Or at the least considered as if he found out. But on the Shogeg or Malacha, there's no way for him to find out. Days don't matter. That's what I'm saying. Days don't matter.
No, but it does the Ireland case. It does the Ireland case. I'll never find out.
Uzodin Shabbos, we got to move our boys. Uzodin Shabbos, is it considered like different milachas? Dilma, and this is the question. Maybe if a person forgot that this malacha is asur, it's pasha that every Shabbos that comes creates a new malacha. Right? I plowed my field on this Shabbos, and next week I plowed it again. The fact that there was days in between created a new malacha. I did two malachas here. V'shigya Shabbos was the malacha is hu debayminei. But his whole question was only on a person that forgot that it's Shabbos. The Yom Shem we have a yediyah l'chalik. Do we say that the days in between are mechalik or not? And now we have three shitas in the Gemara. That's our entire Amid base. So let me just tell you real quickly, if this will help you, I'm not sure. But this is what I have. Shigiga Shabbos. If a guy forgets that today is Shabbos, according to everybody, we're going to come out today in our sugya that according to everybody, the different Shabbos are mechalik. So if I forgot that it's Shabbos, there's no question. Everybody agrees to that. And according to everybody in Rebbe Kiva, the toldos are not like a avos, meaning that you bring one korban. All toldos are in one category of one av, and they're like one. They're not like avos, meaning they're not independent.
Like we said before.
We don't think that they're independent. We don't say that grafting is different than pruning, and therefore you chayv two. They're not like avos. They're considered one category. Maybe you bring one. Fine. Now, Shiga Shabbos. If a person forgot that it's Shabbos, then we said that it's pasha that you have to be mechalik. The days are mechalik. So if I'm over Aveira in this week, and then the following week I have to bring two korbanos, Rabbi said it's pasha. That Rebbe Kiva never discussed it. There's no shayla b'chlal. Why would he discuss it? So, and Abaya and Rav Chizda say no. That is exactly the shayla that Rav Chizda that Rebbe Kiva asked. That is the question on Shiga Shabbos. Fine. Oh. And according then goes to the next chart. In Shigigas Melachos, Rabbi says that was the question.
Once Shigas Shabbos is for sure.
Pasha, that it's mechalik. Everybody says mechalik. We say everybody's mechalik anyways. The question is if it's so pasha or we had to come onto it. But the halacha is according. Nobody argues with that. That Shigas Shabbos is mechalik. The days in between are mechalik. I know Rabbi said it's a little confusing. They're mechalik. But what about Shigas Melacha? And Shigigas Melacha, a person forgot that this Melacha is also, Rabbi says that was the question. And at the end of the day, Rabbi Lezer says Yechayiv two, and Rabbi Kiva says Yechayiv only one. And in that, Rabbi says no, everybody agrees that Yechayiv one, and Rabbi Chizda says everybody agrees that Yechayiv two. Because, hold on, in Abai and Rabbi Chizda, there's only one machlokes really. Whether we consider Gufim Mechulakim or not. So if you say it's not Gufim Mechulakim, different Shabbos are not considered different bodies. Mameli Yechayiv one Chatas your whole life, all the Shabbos in your life. According to Reb Chizda, it's Gufim Mechulakim. It's the exact opposite. Gufim Mechulakim. So on every Shabbos Yechayiv one carbon. That's basically the sugya that we're going to learn right now. A regalachas. A few rayas here and there. 10 minutes. Oy vavoy. Omarabba. First shita. Mistabro dafta zayin only base. Mistabro shiga Shabbos is doing melachos pshitalei. It makes sense that Shabbos is not mechalik. Shiga Shabbos doing melachos pshitalei. The yom shivim time. Sorry, showing you the yom shivim time having a deal lechalik. The days in between are mechalik. Who's doing Shabbos v'shigas melachos hu debayimene. So what was the question? Rabbi says he's a mechalik on the others. He says the question is on Shigas Melacha. Shigas Melacha, who the Boimene, what's the question? Kiguf and Damian, is every Shabbos independent, and Me'el Chayev on each and every one. Upashadlei, and Rabbi Eliezer told him, I'm going to tell you, the Zodin Shabbos Shigas Melacha is Kiguf and Damian, you have Yechayev on each and every one, V'lei Kiva Minei, and Rabbi Kiva holds Yechayev only one. Upashad min lei, and remember, there's two questions here. One was on the Taldos, and one was on the Shigas Melachas according to Rebbe Lezer. Now on the second question. He told him that every tolda is like a av. MMA pruning is independent malacha and grafting is independent malacha. So I'm chayiv two korbanos, and he said no, they're not like avos. They're all part of the same categories as if I prune twice in a row. I'm only chayiv one korban in that Shabbos. So if we go back to the end of the Mishnah, and he says Shabbos is like Behema, Behema is like Shabbos. So basically he's telling him, I don't agree with you. I still don't agree with you. I don't understand Shabbos, I don't understand Behema. Why would Behema be chayiv a bunch? Fine. Rabba, and I'll prove it to you, this nan. Klal Godol Amar B'Shabbos. That's the name of the parak, right? Klal Godol Amar B'Shabbos. This halacha is not important to us today, but it's a great halacha. A person is a tinik shenishba. He had no idea that there's a concept of Shabbos, so he forgot everything. He doesn't know that it's Shabbos today, and he doesn't know that a malacha is also. He doesn't know anything. Both. He's a shegi from both. So what does he do? And then he became a Bal Tshuva. He comes to yeshiva, and they tell him, Rabbi, it's a problem. Every Shabbos of your life, you're over on kach v'kach, and so what does he do? He brings one single korban for his entire life. Okay, that's that. End the story. We're not going to use that. Now here's halacha number 2. Hayudeya ikar Shabbos v'asam malachis harbe. He forgot that today is Shabbos. Shigiga Shabbos. He forgot that it's Shabbos. And he performed many melachos on many Shabbos. Chayiv al kol Shabbos v'Shabbos. Why? So here you see that the days are mechalik. He's chayiv for each and every Shabbos. Days are mechalik. You hear Rabbi say? So each and every Shabbos he's chayiv one korban. Hayudeya, next halacha. Halacha number 3. Hayudeya shu Shabbos v'asa melachis harbe b'shoigig. Shigigas melachis. He forgot that the melacha is asur. B'Shabbos is harbe. Chayiv al kol av melacha u'melacha. He's chayiv on each av melacha. One time for each av melacha, and we don't say that it's a guf mechulak. We don't say it's a guf mechulak because if every Shabbos is a new entity, he should be chayiv for each and every Shabbos. But we don't say that. No. Before we're saying that the yomim are giving you awareness. Or we're saying that it's not a guf mechalik. Vilu chayav al kol av melacha shekol Shabbos v'Shabbos lo yiktani. So you see, it's mashma that every Shabbos is not every Shabbos is not, it's not a different guf. Mani ilay meRabbi Eliezer ema seifa ha'oisa melachos harbe me'ein melacha achas. If a person does a bunch of toldois. Now, what does Rabbi Eliezer say, Rabbi Isai, when it comes to a bunch of toldois? No, a bunch of toldois. A bunch of toldois, he says, Rabbi Eliezer tells Rabbi Kivi chayav on each and every one. But over here it says, so it cannot be Rabbi Eliezer. Rabbi Kivi. Ushmamino, if it goes according to Rabbi Kiva, what do we learn? Shmamino, Shigi is Shabbos. Uzdoim Melachos, Pshitulei, the Yom Shabbatayim, Havi Dilachalik. If I made a mistake on Shabbos, I forgot that it's Shabbos, the days in between are a reminder, or whatever the pshat is, but the days in between are Mechalik. Uzdoim Shabbos, Shigi Melachos. But the question was not on that. The question was, because that we said, according to everybody, right? Rabbi say, according to everybody, according to all 3 Shittas, Rabbi of Chizan and Abaya, this is going to be the constant. That Shigas Shabbos, if you forget between Shabbos to Shabbos, the days in between are Mechalik and Chayiv in each and every one. But what was the Shaila? Who's doing Shabbos or Shigas Melachos, who the boy can goof and damyam? This whole question was on the Shigas Melachos, if it's considered a different goof, Upashale the goof and damyam. And he told him, that's considered separate. And Vladim Melachos Kim Melachos Damyan. He didn't listen to him. Omer le Abaya. Now another shita. Omer le Abaya. Abaya is going to hold that Shabbos is not a different guf. It's not a different guf. So Memela, how much are you chayiv on 2 Shabbosim if you forget that it's Shabbos? He doesn't know it's Shabbos and it's not a different guf. So 2 Shabbosim you chayiv 1. 1 helam, of course 1 helam. Omer Abai lo elamei melachos doing Shabbos v'shigas melachos pshita leilei Rabbi Kiva the Shabbosos lav ki guf and damyon v'shigas Shabbos is doing melachos with the boy menei, and his question was if he forgot Shabbos. The Yom Shabbatayim having yedil l'chalek eloi upashat lei, and he said the Yom Shabbatayim having yedil l'chalek v'kibu menei, and he accepted him. So Mela at the end of the Mishnah it says behema is a good raya. Upashat lei v'ladim melachos ki melachos damyon, and he told him that melachos are each and every tolda yachayev b'fnei atzmoi, and that lekibu menei. That also we said is a constant in Rebbe Kiva. Rebbe Kiva is going to hold according to all the shittas. Then when it comes to toldas, you only chayev 1. And finally we have Rav Chizda. Rav Chizda says the opposite of Abaya. That when it comes to gufim mechulakim, that when it comes to Shabbos, it's gufim mechulakim. Every Shabbos is a different guf. And Memela what? If a person forgot that it's Shabbos and he kept on forgetting that Shabbos, he never had an awareness. The days in between, each Shabbos is guf mechulik, and Memela you're chayev on each and every Shabbos. Zdoyin Shabbos v'shigas melachos. If he forgot about the melacha, I feel Rabbi Kiva Svirle the kegufim damyan. It's separate goof. His question was when he forgot that it's Shabbos. Whether or not the days in between create a chiluk and that Chayav need Shabbos. He accepted it. And then we said that goes okay, that everybody holds that the days in between two Shabbosim are mechalik. And again, Rabbi Kiva holds that that the toldos are all within one category of the Av. So you're not chayiv on each and every tolda. What's my proof? The Sanya. If a person wrote 2 letters on a Shabbos, that's the only way you're chayiv for ksiva. You only chayiv for 2 letters. Let's say you wrote 1 letter. You wrote Beis, and then you remember you're not allowed to write, and then you wrote Nun. So, b'shtei alamis, over here it says that Rabbi Gamliel is mechayiv. It's mechayiv. Rabbi Gamliel is mechayiv. Now, according to Rabbi Gamliel, Shemkaz of Ois Achaz v'Shabbos Zu, V'Ois Achaz v'Shabbos Acher is Potter. There's a machlekes what Rabbi Gamliel holds in regard to 2 separate Shabbosim. Do we say we can combine the 2 Shabbosim together? Or no? If it's in one Shabbos and he had an awareness between the 2 Ois, you can combine it. But can you combine 2 Shabbosim? Over here he says Potter. V'tanya achriti akoyz shtei Ois b'shtei Shabbosos ech b'Shabbos Zu v'ech b'Shabbos Zu Gamliel mechayiv v'chachamim poitrim. Kosol kadai toch the Rabbi Gamliel ki Rabbi Kiva svirlei. So we thought that maybe Rabbi Gamliel holds like Rabbi Kiva that's gufim mechulakim. And Memela, that's why it separates it. So you're not chayiv. Okay, so according to me, says Reb Chizda, that I say when it comes to a shigas melacha, feel Reb Kiva oimed the Shabbos is gegufin damyan, hodetani the potter. So the one brayse that says the Reb holds potter, bezodin Shabbos, v'shigas melachos, the Shabbos is gegufin damyan. Why are you potter if I write 1 ois in this Shabbos and one ois in the following Shabbos? Because they're different Shabbos, it's different entities. I can't combine them. I can't believe we're holding here. So let's stop here. That what we already touched upon it a few days ago. That when it comes to 1 ois, you can't have an awareness on a half a malacha. An awareness is after I perform a full malacha. But if I perform a half a malacha, which is 1 ois, you got nothing out of this. It's one of those shiurim. No.
5:30 in B'nai Yeshiva.
Excuse me.
The boys say we only have one. We have a minute left, so I need to tell you a story. Who's that guy that listens? What's his name again? I forgot his name. From he's in Gimli. He listens every day. Shimon Weiss. Shimon Weiss said a story, and he moved to Florida. He said he's going to be very makbid because he's moving to a new place. He's very makbid on Daf Yomi. He's going to come on time. So he asked the Rav, what time is Daf Yomi in Shabbos? He said 5:30. So 5:30 he got up and he went to the guy's house as he's supposed to get up. His wife says, "You crazy? It's 5:30 Shabbos." He says, "No, I'm stark on Daf Yomi." He goes into the guy's house. He sits down, and also the guy comes out with a baseball bat in his pajamas. He says, "What are you doing?" He says, "Daf Yomi." He says, "No, 5:30 before Mincha." So anyways, it's 5:30 before Mincha the Shabbos at B'nai